let's do some interpreting of division situations. Okay. So we're going to explore some situations that involve division. So, all right, I can create a diagram or write an equation that represents division and multiplication questions. I can decide whether a division question is asking how many groups or how many in each group. Okay, so once you have today's date, your ICANNs, let's move on. Oh, don't forget your page number. All right, let's get straight into it. So, May had 4 jars. In each jar, she put 2 1/4 cups of homemade blueberry jam. Sorry, that sounds tasty. Altogether, how many cups of jam are in the jars? So what's this? What's the total here? What's the parts? What are we thinking about? Well, we've got 4 jars, right? And in each jar, we have 2 1/4 cups of jam. So 4 groups of 2 1/4, how much do we have altogether? Well, 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1/4 is 4/4, which is 1. We have a total of 9 cups of jam. What about here? Priya filled 5 jars using a total of 7 1/2 cups of strawberry jam. How many cups of jam are in each jar? Not going to look the same, is it? Because here we have 5 times something is going to get us 7 1/2 cups. So we need to figure out, how do we break this 7 1/2 up into how many parts to make that 5 of them would make 7 1/2. Well, if we take and make 5 jars, and if we make those 5 jars, we take 1 whole cup out of that 7 1/2, it leaves us with 2 1/2, right? If I make those all into 1/2s, do I have 5 1/2s? Yeah, 1 1/2 is same as 5 halves. So I can split 1/2 up for each of those, which gets me the answer of 1 1/2. Han had some jars. He puts 3/4 of a cup of grape jam in each for a total of 6 3/4 cups. How many jars did he fill? Well, this is very similar to the previous one, right? Here, we didn't know the total in each jar. Here, we know each jar, but we don't know how many jars. If you think about it, we can find this fairly easy, because we need to find something times 3/4 is going to give us 6 3/4. Well, let's put this back into an improper fraction. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 3 gives us 27. We have to multiply 3 by to get 27. Nine. We can prove that too with drawing a picture. With a tape diagram, we just need 9 parts. If each one of those is 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 3/4 gets us 27/4, which is the same as 6 3/4. Here's some other ways to look at them. These are much better drawings than what I did. So here, this is that first one, right? Where we did, we knew we had 4 jars. There was 2 1/4 in each of the jars, and we knew we needed the total. This is a pretty straightforward multiplication problem. Here, we knew that we had 7 1/2 cups total. We knew that there were 5 jars, and we need to find out how much was in each of those jars. Here, we know that there's 6 3/4 cups total. 1 jar holds 3/4. We need to figure out how many jars it is. We don't have to put all the lines here on this part because we're trying to find what that missing piece is. So we may not necessarily draw out all those. Now, spoiler alert, I kind of knew that that was going to be 9, but still, when you're thinking about the tape diagram, you may not necessarily draw every single part, especially if you don't know what the missing part is here. We didn't know how many were here until we started reasoning out about the 3/4. And I really use a tape diagram instead of like this to model this. I used it more as my model for proving what I solved. Okay, one more thing. Let's talk about some granola. Okay, to make one batch of granola, Kieran needs 26 ounces of oats. The only measuring tool he has is a 4-ounce scoop. So he went home and cried because he had to math. No, that's not what it says. How many scoops will it take to measure 26 ounces of oats? Is it going to be more than 1 or is it going to be less than 1? Well, I hope to know that 4 is less than 26, so it's going to have to be more than 1. What's the multiplication going to look like for this, and what's the division going to look like for this? Yeah, the multiplication is going to be like this, right? 4 times something is going to give us 26. And the division is going to be 26 ounces divided by 4 ounces in each scoop to give us how many scoops it takes. So what goes in here? Well, 4 can go into 26 6 times, right? 6 times 4 is 24. That leaves us with 2 for a remainder. Then we have 4ths, 2/4, or 6 1/2 scoops. And you can think of it as we have the 26 ounces. We know each one's 4 ounces in our tape diagram. We just don't know how many are going to be in here to do the 4. Well, we end up needing 6 of them and then 1/2 more to end up getting the entire 26 that we needed. What about here? Recipe calls for 14 ounces of mixed nuts. To get that amount, Kieran uses 4 bags of mixed nuts. So, what could we ask about it? How many ounces are in each bag? If 4 bags are used, we have a total of 14 ounces. How much was in each of those bags? Something like that. So what's this going to represent? This 14 divided by 4. What's that? Question mark. What do each of these represent? Well, we have 14. That's the number of ounces divided up into the 4 bags. And then that would give us how many ounces are in each bag. So what do we get for our quotient? Well, 4 can go into 14 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. 14 minus 12 is 2. We get 2/4. Each bag holds 3 1/2 ounces. The multiplication is going to look different on this one, right? Because here, we knew we had 4-ounce scoops. We didn't know how many scoops it would take. or how many scoops it would take to get the 26. Here, we don't know how many ounces are in each bag, but we do know that we have 4 bags, and those 4 bags make 14 ounces. Here's some better pictures of what I was just talking about. So we have, for the first one, the oats, we had 26 ounces. We knew that 1 scoop was 4 ounces, and we need to figure out how many scoops. Well, after you do the 6 scoops of 4 ounces each, you see that you've got 2 ounces left. 2 ounces compared to 4 ounces being a whole scoop means that that was a half scoop. And that's why it's 6 1/2 scoops to make this work. Here, we know we've got 14 ounces total. We know that we have 4 bags, and we need to figure out how much goes in each bag. Well, we figured out here that to go into the 4 bags, we had to put 3 ounces in each of those. That left us with 2 ounces left over. And we had to take those 2 ounces and split it up amongst the 4, which is how we got the 1/2. Because simple adding, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 4. Try that again. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 12, because that's 4 3s. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 whole. That makes 13. 1/2 plus 1/2 is another whole, making the 14. All right, let's kind of put this information together. So flour fold. Ugh, I cannot talk today. Flour is sold in 3-pound bags. How many pounds are in 7 bags? What's the unknown here? Yeah, the total in 7 bags, right? We know that we have 3-pound bags. There are 7 of them. We don't know the total. What about here? 5 tickets to a play cost $38. What does each ticket cost if they're all the same, if they all cost the same? Here, it was the total pounds, right? We were looking for that total. So we just need to straight multiply here. Here, we know that 5 times something gets us our $38. So we need to find out how much is in 1 ticket. Here, 1 quart equals 32 ounces. How many quarts are in 128 ounces? This is the opposite question, right? We don't know how many there are, but we do know that in each of them has to have 32 ounces. And we want to know what it would be to make the 128. So we have to figure out how many quarts it takes to multiply by 32 to make 128. So here, this one's pretty easy, right? If we look at the diagram for it, we've got our 7 parts. Each one of them is 3. That gives us our 21 pretty quickly. Here, we know we have 38 for a total. We have 5 parts. And we need to take that 38 and divide it up into 5 parts. Which gets us, what? 7 whole in each one, which gives us 3 left over. 3 divided by 5 gives us 3/5, so each one of those is 7 3/5, or as dimes, it would be $7.60, right? 3/5 of $1.60. Here we're talking about we really don't know how many in here, right? I can't even draw that. That wouldn't even be right. But we do know that each part is 32. we don't know how many parts this breaks into to make 128. It's going to be 4, right? Yeah, because I'm going to take this 128, divide it by 32, and I'm going to see that I'm going to need 4 parts. Okay. So these are all solving the different things. Here we're looking for a total. Here we're trying to find out what each one is. Here we're trying to find out the total number of each of these, how many groups it took for how much is in the group to make the total. All right, a shade long on that one, but we are good to go. Thanks for watching.